Once you've set up a user account and have entered in your field information, it is now time to begin using the SoyPod DSS to actually sample and store data for each specific field. To do this, you go into the My Fields page, which should have a list of all your fields that you have entered. They're categorized by either name, RSI, or last decision. Name being the field name, RSI being the resampling interval, or last decision being what the last decision was for that particular field. This could range from the field being above the economic threshold or the field not being sampled simply because you just set it up. In the case of the Johnson farm with the check mark, the field was sampled, but it was below the economic threshold. For this example, we're going to go into our example field and go to the Fields Actions page. Here, this will allow us to select what type of sampling method we're going to use and for what pest. For this case, it's just soybean aphid. Other pests will be included in future iterations, but for the beta version, soybean aphid is the only pest that's currently available. For the crop stage or growth stage, or the V number and R number, vegetative or reproductive number respectively, we're putting in 11 and 3. And our choices for sampling method currently are speed scouting, and then for future iterations will be whole plant counts. So we'll enter in the speed scouting module, and here has some general information about speed scouting and where you can find more information if speed scouting is something that is brand new to you. To continue with this example, we'll click on Next, which brings us to the speed scouting form. This online form is very similar to the PDF that many of you may have used in the past, but this actually has this in a web-based form. So instead of writing down a plus or a minus, we're actually going to say yes or no within the handheld module. So basically, are there 40 or more aphids on this plant? And remember, this is a tally threshold, not an economic threshold, which is 250. For this particular example, we're just going to click through some yeses and nos so you get an idea of what to expect. But ideally, you would be taking 30 seconds between sample points before selecting your next plant to be sampled and determining whether or not that plant has 40 or more aphids. Once we reach plant 11 of 11, we can make our first management decision. In this particular case, treatment is not recommended based on the number of plants that were infested with 40 or more aphids. In other words, there were not enough plants infested to warrant this field treatable. But in this particular scout decision, we have some basic information about the decision that was actually made, the crop stage, and the sampling method used. From this screen, we can go back into the My Fields page. And as you can see, the last decision was updated for our example farm. So instead of having the minus sign, which means the field was not sampled, it now has a check, which means no action is required, and the resampling interval for this particular field is 7 days. That means 7 days from now, this field will need to be resampled for soybean aphid. For more information, please visit the help link at the bottom of the page.